Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Foolish Mortals. And in the last episode, guys, Murphy was finally able to get on board the Spirit Queen, where we encountered this interesting gentleman, a witch doctor who set us to go to Belmore Manor and acquire a leather bag known as a gree-gree. And we were able to find that bag right before a lady ghost appeared and proceeded to force push Murphy out of a second-story window into a pond, just narrowly escaping death. But considering the fact he experienced that, Murphy seems to be in good shape, and we have returned with the gree-gree, and apparently we have an ingredient list we need to gather to put into the bag. Check that out.
It was a manuscript that looked hundreds of years old, with the instructions to a spell that summoned things hidden within.
This is what we do to summon Captain Planet.
It was a crumbling piece of chalk. It was a pair of feathers, both black. It was a small mound of gunpowder. It was a single coin made of silver. It was a bottle filled with rum.
Why is the rum gone?
It was a fragment of bone. It was a handful of nails, once used to seal up a coffin.
So very specific items. We should be able to grab those. Actually, I've got some loose change here. Would that work?
Would the spirits trade the gree-gree for this?
Do you dare insult me, Murphy? What I offer is far more valuable than a few measly coins.
Oh, whoa, do we actually put those in the bag?
I placed the dime into the gree-gree. That would work as the silver coin.
Nice. Okay, well that's one down. Is there anything else that we can put in the gree-gree?
I couldn't do that. I needed to think of something else.
How about the pocket watch?
I needed to think of something else.
I mean, obviously it's not chalk or anything, but the poker?
Nope.
I didn't know that we still had that in our pocket when we got launched. The brooch?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
now wasn't the time to leave. I needed to find an item to trade for the gree-gree.
Would you like a book of macabre tales, sir? Seems your type.
Would the spirits trade the gree-gree for this?
I know far more about the house than what is on that fish wrap, Murphy McCallan.
How about a nice pocket watch? Oh, that worked.
What about this?
A pocket watch, a symbol of the life that doesn't satisfy you, a symbol of lost time. Dare you give it up?
I think I can do without it.
Then cast it into the spirit pool.
Hopefully the Loa will be pleased. Well, we're not dead.
The spirits have deemed it a satisfactory trade. The gree-gree and its powers are now rightfully yours to wield. You are ready now, Murphy. Head out to the island and retrieve the ingredients we need. Then I will show you the final step of the spell.
How am I going to find what I need?
Everything I've ever needed for my voodoo spells, I've found here. It's as though this island draws the supernatural to it. The bayou, the beach, the town, the manor, all will help you in your search. Tell me, Murphy, have you visited the mill to the north, the fort to the south, the church at the island's heart? The island will lead you to that which you seek. I have no doubt about that.
Oh, we're about to get some new locations unlocked? Yes. Excellent. That fleshes everything out quite nicely. Oh, we can actually ask some questions. So I realized, thanks to the comments in the last video, the voice. It's like I'd heard that voice somewhere and I couldn't like put my finger on it. This dude sounds like Dr. Harlan Fontaine from LA Noire. Like almost exactly. And it's not the same voice actor. The guy who did the voice of Dr. Fontaine also did Micah Bell in Red Dead Redemption 2. But man, does a good job with that like kind of dramatic Creole accent. And now we can ask him some questions.
How are the ghosts trapped within Belmore Manor?
The explosion is what sealed their fate. They exist now only as spirits, the form they should take in the spirit realm, and yet they remain here in the mortal realm. The ghosts are trapped in that house, unseen, unheard, and unable to interact with the world around them. This spell will change that.
How is the bride able to attack me when she's supposedly unseen and unheard?
Voodoo works best when attuned to emotion, and the strongest of those emotions can sometimes push beyond the known limits. She must have been very angry with you.
If I summon the spirits of the house, won't I also summon the bride again?
Very true, Murphy. Best be a little more persuasive this time.
And remain on the ground floor.
What was the explosion that caused everyone to disappear?
It was a tearing in the very threshold between life and death, a chain reaction of spirit energy suddenly unleashed by the most violent of emotions. Just as the bride's anger allowed her to manifest in front of you this very evening, think of the rage that must have caused an entire household to explode and vanish.
So I guess ghosts are very similar to the ones from the actual movie Ghost, where they had to focus all of their beings, all of their hate, all of their love, all of their emotions in order to actually manipulate the physical world.
Who is the creature that you talk to?
That is my Loa. The Loa are the mysteries, the invisibles, the messengers.
Is it a ghost?
No. They are the intermediaries between humans and the supernatural. There are two planes of existence, Murphy. The mortal realm and the spirit realm. Loa can move between them both. With my powers, I can command them when they do.
And how'd you get your powers?
How did you learn voodoo?
I have always been adept with the mystic arts. Just as you dream of treasure, Murphy, I dream of power. I came to Devil's Rock many years ago, drawn by its voodoo energy, and no sooner than I arrived, the spirit realm began to reveal itself to me, pleading for me to be its master.
The power of voodoo. Who do you do? Do what? Remind me of the babe.
Why is this island such a focus of voodoo energy?
I suspect the answer to that question already lies in what you're seeking.
What's this riverboat we're aboard?
This is the Spirit Queen. It used to be a pleasure boat, plying the rivers around the island, a den of drinking and gambling. That's how I came to own the boat. A lucky game of chance. But between you and me, Murphy, it's a lot easier to win when you have spirits to control the roll of the dice.
It sounds like you cheated.
Fate was always gonna bring this boat to me. I just hurried it along.
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep an alligator as a pet?
That's right. My dear old Mephistopheles. Blind as a bat, but with the smell of a bloodhound. Good thing he's chained up safely in the boiler room.
No, he isn't. He was out on the jetty when I was trying to get aboard.
Where is he now?
Swimming in the bayou.
Oh dear, not again.
And nursing a concussion. And a grudge.
I'm going to go and find the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
Yeah, I'm sure we're not going to have to deal with you later. Hey, part 1. The Summoning Spell. Oh, it looks like Hexus from Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. Okay.
It was the frame where I'd found the taxidermied fish. The plaque read, "My beloved Bernie, heartfelt wishes, now you sleep with the fishes."
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on. Oh, can we use the poker on the window? Aha!
With a bit of elbow grease, I levered up the window frame.
And let's crawl on through.
Pressed against the inside wall was a dusty desk covered in spider webs. And to top it, one thing lay undisturbed, a small folded document which I picked up, along with an inadvertent 8-legged companion. Ugh. Ghost stories and haunted treasures I could handle, but spiders gave me the creeps.
Yeah, I'm not that bad. Ooh, captain's license. License issued by the Department of Commerce and Labor, 1910. Cornelius Knott. And duly examined, touching his qualifications as captain of a steamboat. A suitable and safe person to be entrusted with the power and duties of captaincy, and license him to act for such for 5 years from this state on all navigable waters of the state of Louisiana. As such, the above named does solemnly swear they will faithfully and honestly, according to his best skill and judgment, without concealment or reservation, perform all the duties required to him as a captain by the Act of Congress approved June 9th, 1910. And I see that there's no photo here, so maybe we actually need to get a photo of ourselves.
It was a riverboat captain's license.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, the question is, where do we go from here? Shall we just... I mean, we were at the Spirit Queen, so let's head north. Baxter's Mill. Oh, actually looks fairly calm.
It was a ramshackle chicken coop with infrequent clucks emanating from within.
What is it now?
Cluck, cluck, buck, 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 cluck. I tried to persuade the chicken to come outside, but clearly I was out of cluck.
Can I use the poker on myself?
A pile of rotting wood lay at the side of the path.
Can we check it? Leave no board unturned?
The wood was old and rotting. It wasn't going to be of any use. And who knew what critters might have made their homes inside the pile?
Oh yeah, with all the water and humidity, so many bugs.
The mill incorporated a wooden water wheel that turned in the current of the water channel, presumably driving some kind of gear inside. The inside of the lumber mill smelled like sawdust and grease. Judging from the overgrown weeds, it clearly hadn't been used in a long time, and yet the lights remained on. I picked up the auger from the tool shelf.
The what now? Oh.
It was a small metal tool used for drilling holes by hand. A large round beam rotated slowly in the center of the room.
All greased up, too.
The beam looked to be driven by the water wheel outside. From the multitude of wires fanning out from the top, it was presumably hooked up to a generator. Lubricating the beam so it rotated smoothly was a thick glob of grease. If I touched the grease with my bare hands, I'd be spending hours trying to wash it off.
Make a fun minigame. So we need a cloth of some sort.
In the middle of the room was a large sawmill. The conveyor belt would have carried logs up to the blade, cutting them in two. Despite the age of the mill, the buzzsaw still looked sharp and scary. I didn't want to touch it. I hadn't seen something with that many scary-looking teeth since Old Lady Malloy's German Shepherd got loose on my 10th birthday. A series of hatches ran along the back wall of the mill.
Nothing inside?
The hatches were locked. From their shape, I deduced they were for storing lumber, and I wasn't in need of any 2x4s.
Looks like there's blood there on the door frame, or rust.
On the wall hung old saw blades, undisturbed since the mill was last in operation. Each of the electric cables in the room emanated from a metal panel by the upstairs door.
Let's see what that looks like.
The electrical safety of the panel looked questionable. I wasn't going to touch it. I tried the door, but it was locked. I couldn't do that. I couldn't break my way through the door. It was peculiarly reinforced for a lumber mill.
I see. Well, that's everything here. Unless we want to try anything else to get the chicken's attention, but I don't think that is... We don't have anything available. Let's keep heading down south. Ooh.
The church door was solid and understated, like much of the rest of the church. The window looked into the church, if you could see through the decades of dust and grime. In the distance, I could see the island fort. The lighthouse light was off.
We can go into the cemetery as well. It's a gnarly tree.
The inside of the church was silent and still.
No!
The church door was locked.
Curses. Oh, hi. And coffin nails. How about that? Sir, I'm gonna need you to blink.
A small pair of handheld bellows lay close to the stove on hand to stoke it. An antique stove burned quietly in the corner of the tumble-down shack. A rusty tin can sat on the ground. Its label read, Bloom's Canned Beef, family-sized. Appetizing.
Delicious.
Where one of the table legs was broken, a jack was being used to prop it up, stopping the table from wobbling. A coffin sat upon a rickety-looking table with one leg shorter than the others. A shabby-looking coffin lay unceremoniously on the rickety table. The graveyard was dotted with headstones, some old, some young, some legible, some not. The graveyard was dotted with
Here lies Lester Moore, 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more.
I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for.
Ooh.
I scanned the headstone.
Okay, so this is something that'll come in play a little bit later. Is that a mausoleum? It is.
I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good.
Well, maybe something that needs to be sealed up is in there. Remember from Cthulhu mythos stories, never summon that you do not have the materials to send back.
Hello?
Yeah! God darn it! Don't sneak up on people like that! You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy.
I thought you were that pesky little girl again.
A little girl? That doesn't seem like a reason to be scared.
She's a terror! One of these days she's gonna give me a heart attack. Last week, she showed up with a doctor's note she'd forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him back up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo. Just like that little girl will be if I get my hands on her. Yeah, who are you anyway?
My name's Murphy McCallan. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle. Gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
Oh, yes! Actually, it reminds me of, also pallbearer. Those Victorian, I don't know how accurate this is. I think there was at least one of those, like, Victorian gravestones that had the bell where it would be attached to the body, like on their finger or something, because people in Victorian England were terrified of the concept of being buried alive. And if they woke up, they would be able to ring the bell to let people know that there was someone down below. I was like, I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research whether that's accurate or not, but that just sounds awesome and very, macabre.
Did you make this coffin?
I sure did. But this is no more than a pauper's coffin by anyone's standards. The finest the parish pension can buy. Lock them in lumber, leave them to slumber, that's what I say. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Ooh, nice shooting star there.
Was the little girl named Mallory Wisp by any chance?
That's her. The peril in a pinafore. She got the whole town thinking I was burying people prematurely. I walked past the school the other day, and they'd made up a jump rope chant about me.
Oh, what was the chant the school children made up about you?
Edgar, crazy feller, just be careful he don't get you. How many bodies did he strive to bury while they're still alive?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't looking for audience participation.
Sorry, I got carried away.
Maybe,
Just like you with the burying.
maybe if we keep on annoying him, we'll get a coffin nail in our forehead.
Have you ever accidentally buried someone who was still alive?
Has someone been making accusations again?
No, just making conversation.
Well, not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help, desperate shaking of the coffin.
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Oh, Lord, we can keep on asking him. Okay.
I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Oh, a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are supposed to be here.
Speaking of his voice and facial hair, we mentioned Micah Bell earlier.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Belmore Manor?
I think it's important to let the dead rest in peace.
Morgan.
But what if they're not in peace?
Well, you got me there. Listen, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the three brothers went missing, right? Well, if you ask me, I think Abigail Belmore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. Then afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah, just a feeling, that's all. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things.
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, right? Done something to get his revenge.
What do you think he did?
Nobody knows. He could have been working his way through those bodies like a madman. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. To tell you the truth, quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they hadn't disappeared, it would have been this old fool who had to bury him. Saved me a lot of work.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't have any to spare. I've got a backlog of bodies begging for burial. But does the parish increase my funding? Nope. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. Undertaking is a dying business.
How many people have died on this island? The town didn't seem that big.
Do you think I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
Not after that first incident.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hopefully not the guy in the coffin.
Not funny.
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else on my to-do list.
Roger that. So, it looks like you've got a toolbox back there. Can we use the screw jack? Uh-oh. That's not nice, Murphy.
The tin was full of nothing but holes.
We're gonna take the bellows too. We're just stealing everything, man.
I didn't need to warm my hands on the stove. It was already a humid night, and the fire was more useful at keeping bugs away from the shack than keeping anyone toasty.
And that man's wearing a scarf. Okay, can we...
The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it.
That's not my concern.
A mischievous idea began to form in my mind. Hey, I think the guy inside here might still be alive.
And why would you think something like that?
The coffin was just shaking around. Maybe you should open it up.
Well, I didn't see it move.
The gravedigger had me in a conundrum. I could hardly start shaking it right in front of his eyes.
And unless the body inside starts jiggling around, I'm not opening up that coffin.
Roger that.
It was a screw jack, the type I'd normally see being used to hold up a motor car when changing its tire.
So we've got to finagle some sort of way of getting this. Maybe some of the grease that we saw?
Hurry up with the barrels, Morris. We gotta get these unloaded before anyone sees us.
Oh,
Are you sure this is a good idea, Musket? I don't think we should be using a church as our hiding place.
You're not being paid to think, Morris. You carry those barrels in here and let me worry about the theological implications.
Bootleggers.
This place has been abandoned for decades. There's nobody around.
Nobody living, maybe. What if there's ghosts, boss?
Darn it, Morris. If brains was dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Now get unloading. And keep an eye out for anyone snooping around.
What if someone catches us?
If anyone asks, we're the new clergy. We tell them these barrels are full of communion wine.
I thought we was rum runners, not wine runners, boss.
Communion rum, then.
Ah, gotcha.
Remember, St. Juniper's Church is a place to get closer to God. And if anyone questions our alibi, we make sure that happens.
The pair of rum runners looked like the human personifications of the dish and the spoon from Hey Diddle Diddle, the gangly spoon bossing around the rotund dish as it carried barrels effortlessly from the jalopy and into the church. As it turned out, nursery rhyme characters become a lot more intimidating once they have revolvers.
let's take a look at their wares. Got to check the rum, make sure everything's okay. The barrels are in good shape.
were far too heavy for me to lift, though that gorilla of a rum runner had been picking them up like they were cotton balls.
I've seen a lot of cartoons to know what to do.
Using the auger, I drilled a small hole in the barrel, and out poured rum.
Now what?
I didn't need to blow on that.
We need a lighter.
The jalopy door was locked. How ironic that the rum runners would take care not to be the target of criminality. The jalopy door. An old jalopy was parked up outside the church, its flatbed filled with barrels.
Oh, the horn. I don't know if that's something that we should be doing right now. Let's head to the fort. There's plenty of other barrels that we can mess with. Oh.
Musket, one of the barrels has sprung a leak.
How many times are you gonna bother me? Put a cork in it, will ya?
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Literally and figuratively. Oh, okay, we cannot go to the fort from here. So we're basically just getting introduced to all of these locations. This is how I tend to play point-and-click games. We also need to go revisit all of these. What a cool fort.
On the tallest tower of the fort was a wrought iron Victorian lighthouse, clearly out of step with the fort's stone architecture. It was like seeing a pair of spectacles in Michelangelo's David.
Oh, look, Willem Dafoe's up there.
On the wall of the fort was a rusting metal plaque attributed to the Devil's Rock Historical Society.
And what does it say?
The plaque read, Fort de l'Amour, no public access. For further information, please contact the lighthouse keeper.
Kitty!
The cat was staring at the lantern, mesmerized by the light.
And I stood here mesmerized by the cat. Oh, we've got a powder barrel.
A barrel marked gunpowder was being rocked by the cat perched on top of it.
Ooh, a plan is forming.
On the wall, an electric lantern glowed brightly. A stone staircase ascended out of sight. A coat of arms was carved in stone above the staircase. Here, kitty kitty. It was no use. That cat was clearly more entranced by shiny things than the stranger outside the gate.
Same, really. Alright, guys. Well, with the introduction of this feline friend, I think this is a perfect place to go ahead and call it an episode. And we'll continue our explorations of the island next time. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you back here for some more exploration. Later days, everyone.